Welcome to Mentorship Mondays with Michelle and Maren. Hello, Maren.
Hi, Michelle. Oh my goodness. I should say hi, everyone, because I've talked to Michelle probably 10 times now, attempted recordings. We have a lot of energy going on today. We think that we might even have a visitor because some strange things have been happening. We have never had these things happen to us before
Very,
together.
very strange because usually it's one or the other. It's like, let's be honest, it's usually me. But what we were saying just prior is I was talking about the weather and talking about some weird stuff that's been happening because of our weather here and the type of internet cable we have because of the end of the city or the area of the city we're in and yada yada. So I was explaining how this week we had to be very creative and, doing my sessions and whatnot, working around all of that. And that will be resolved on Wednesday. So I was worried that today, being able to film, although everything is up and running today, but worried it would be spotty. So far, so good on that front. But what's so interesting is we started to have some other issues that were so bizarre. And like bizarre meaning, okay, so Mare and I were speaking about aliens, okay? And I'll share with you guys just real quick. So I got a text from Maren this week, and she said, "What do you know about Zeta Reticuli?" And I'm pretty sure we did speak about this maybe briefly over one of our podcasts earlier, but I remember one morning I woke up, and this has to be a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago or so. Um, and when I was waking up, my eyes weren't open yet. I was just kind of coming out of sleep, and I heard clear as day a male voice, and it was outside my head, not inside my head, and coming forward. So sometimes when I hear clairaudiently, and when it comes through as a voice, it sounds like it's being thrown from the back of my head forward. And so I heard very clearly Zeta Reticuli. And I was like, that's very interesting. So once I got myself up and going, of course, I Googled like information about that. And didn't really see anything too substantial. Wrote it in my journal, kind of wrote the experience because a lot of things like that happen, right? Like we get these little bits and pieces of things. We'll either feel something, see something, a synchronicity. It's always a good idea to jot it down because we're not always going to know what everything means in every given moment. Well, there's always these little bits and pieces that come forward over the years. And so when Maren asked this, I was like, yeah, I remember hearing that. And, I don't really have a lot.
Remember, oh, go ahead. I
Oh,
remember you telling me
yeah,
about it
yeah,
because it sounds like a brain part or something, like, oh, the
yeah,
such and such is connected to the Zeta Reticuli, which
right,
is connected to the whatever.
right.
And so I was listening to this podcast, and this guy had an alien encounter, and they were like questioning on it, and they were like, well, where do you think this alien was from? And they said, he was like, they like showed him kind of like the stars. And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
this constellation seems like very significant to me.
Yeah.
And then he was like, this star seems very significant to me. And they said, well, that's Reticuli.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other guy, because there were two guys talking, the other guy chimed in and said, oh, Zeta Reticuli. Yeah, that's a common place they come from or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's the word. And so I had to text you, Michelle. So I can't believe it. But, anyways, I'm telling Michelle this story when we just get on. And then all of a sudden, something happened in Michelle's house. What
Yes.
happened, Michelle?
Well, so we're talking, and just to give this tiny little piece before I say this, is that you have seen a blue being that is
Oh
very
yeah.
similar to a blue being that I saw very early on in my journey and did a
And the
drawing
being,
of.
and the being in this story that I was listening to on this podcast was a blue being. Yeah.
Yes, so we're just tying that together. So now remember, Maren and I, when I saw this blue being, this is back in um 2015, 2016, and Maren and I don't even think had met yet. Or, if we did, it was no, I don't think we would have met at that point. And so, she's had this experience. I had this way back when, and so I've got a drawing that I made of this blue being. Okay, so with that all in mind and what we're talking about today, we're having this conversation before we hit record. And because we had plans on actually talking about something else completely, and we were keeping that fresh and open just to dive into it without any preconceived information. So we're talking about it. I can feel energy, as Maren's telling me. I can feel the energy coming in on the top of my head. Now, when there are a lot of times like angelic beings, high vibrational beings, a lot of our ET families, Adrian, a lot of that, I will feel that energy come in on the top in a certain way. So when it's human spirits, a lot of times it's more of a circular feeling that comes in, and it tends to go from one side to the other depending on what the gender is that they're coming in with. But when it is an ET, it's more of it's like almost feels like a little bit of a helmet being put on, or like, I won't even say helmet because it's very open up top. It's more
I
like,
can't believe you just said that, because as you're talking about the energy, I'm like, oh my God, I feel it, but I don't feel like it right here. I
right,
feel like it's being like set.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's like something's being put on and you start to feel, and it's a good feeling. It's not an
Yeah.
uncomfortable feeling. It feels nice. So, Maren's saying that this is happening, and all of a sudden the which we've talked about before, the Google Home Alexa little device that's back in the corner, that, may I repeat, is not plugged in, like not activated. So what I explained before a while back was this was connected to Shelby's phone. Shelby is not here. It is not hooked up to anybody's device. It is not powered. It's unplugged, not on. It is over there, not even being used, just sitting on the counter down here. Okay? So it comes on as we're talking, and I'm trying to remember what it said. It was not just
So
one word
no,
like it's said before. It was like,
it said
no,
there's no internet
yeah,
connection.
no, there's no internet connection. Now, here's what's funny is it said, well, we can't help you. You can't do this. There is no internet
Yeah.
connection. Well, this is what we're having problems with, was the connection, right? Because as soon as that was said, things got real weird. Because that got said, and then Maren and I were trying to get organized to start filming, and all of a sudden I've got things popping up on my screen.
You had an echo.
I
You
had
couldn't, you were like,
yes.
and I was like, I hear no echo. There's
Yeah.
no echo. Oh, she's like, I hear an echo. I hear an echo. I'm like, there's no echo.
And then I was like hearing myself. I was echo, echo. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah. So then we were like, we got it. We felt like we got it sorted out. And then we hit record, and then it said, you're not recording. And it kept pushing us off the recording. And that would push me off the recording. So
Yeah.
you had the echo. It got me pushed off the recording. So then we were like, let's go to our phones. Let's forget the
Yeah.
computers.
Yeah.
Go to our phones. We'll record on our phones. This is the strangest part. I get on and I see myself, and I only hear Michelle. She's like, you can't see her video, you just hear her. And I'm like, well, there's got to be a way I can, like, say, like, let me see her video. I go to who is in the recording room. It's only me. Somehow I hear Michelle, but she is nowhere to be found on the recording video. And I go, okay, well, this must be something that's like weird with my phone. I'm going to go get into the recording room, back on my computer where you've got like a bigger, panel. You can kind of like see what's going on anymore. She's not on my computer. I just see two of me now. And then I like look who's in the room. Just me twice. There's no Michelle, but I can hear her. Like
Yeah.
she's in the room.
But I'm not
It's
logged in
so
anywhere. Like there is no trace of where I am. Like we were in some kind of a little time lapse or something weird going on because we could hear each other and talk, but we weren't registered. Like I'm not registering. Mary's like, you're a ghost. Like you're not here. It is true.
ghost recording.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was very weird. That was very weird. And now things have settled down a little bit now. But, you know, right before we recorded, I was like, cuz truly we've run out of time of our normal filming of what we would normally do, right? Because we both have commitments that we have to take, so we only have so much time that we can film today. And it's so funny because, of course, you might plan for things to go one way and they don't always go that way, but it's okay. But the energy is very palpable. And what we were talking about was there's definitely, and we're multidimensional beings, remember? So there's many different layers of things that are occurring in our lives at one time. And yes, we're staying grounded and focused in this human life, but there's an adventure that is always occurring around. And the more that you open that up and the more that you allow that into your reality, the more fun they will have and the more experiences we'll have. But as soon as we acknowledged the, we'll say the blue beings, Palladian, I'm not even 100% sure who's coming through, although I feel it, but we weren't getting any direct communication. It was the feeling and Maren seeing orbs, all kinds of stuff that was occurring at the same time. But I'm sure given a little more time, we're going to have more detail come through because uh, I think we have a visitor that is very interested, or I will say they, because there is more than one that I can feel that are coming in. And I believe, Maren, that this is connected to who you had a dream with, the being that you saw. I believe that this is all connected into the same place. That's what feels right to me. And I can feel the energy right here, right now. So, you never know what you're going to get. And I mean, we had an intention to talk about something completely different today, truly. But here's your reminder today, everybody. We are not alone. None of us are alone. None of us. And we don't always know exactly why something is taking place in the moment that it is. But part of this journey, part of this adventure that we call life, has many different facets to it. And I would like to acknowledge the excitement and how, and I know, Maren, you're excited too, because we both get excited at just the experience when we recognize these things taking place. And I'm very grateful for that because having that experience really opens up doors to allow that energy to come through. Because the one thing I know for sure is this energy is benevolent and fun and light. And
Well, that's what I wanted to say. Like, please use discernment as you open up, and as you know, we opened up our energies to talking about this blue being, and then a whole ruckus happened. And just have discernment that the ruckus does not mean they're mean. It doesn't mean the energy is negative. It doesn't mean that, trouble is coming. It just could mean they're saying hi and they're being playful and they want you to know they are here and any way they can by, using their energies to ruin your internet connection. Thank you. But But no, it's also fun like that. I cannot believe that about the little Alexa. That's unbelievable. And
It
then you
was so funny.
ghosting me on the platform. That was just crazy. So it's fun, and don't
And
be scared. Put your protections up, say that only those that come from the light can visit you, and then enjoy what visits you, and just take, comfort in the fact that you're getting your request. Someone is playing with you.
yeah,
Someone wants to engage in a relationship. And
that's right.
that's what's so neat.
That's right. That's right. And when we take the expectations off of what it needs to look like, sound like, feel like, be like, when we open it up to surprise me, surprise me, show me how fun this can be. Show me how exciting this can be. Because remember our intention and the ability to be open, and I get a lot of folks will say, well, I don't want to be scared. That would scare me. I wouldn't want that to happen. That would freak me out. But remember, a lot of times when we're not seeing exactly what's happening, we're experiencing something and feeling something, that can be scary to the human mind because of how we were trained. It doesn't mean, like Maren said, it doesn't mean that it's negative or anything. So just remember, if you do feel uncomfortable, your mind has to get used to, you know, it has to get used to experiencing things around us that are already there, whether we realize it or not, that are
Mm-hmm.
around us and wanting to engage with us. And it's there to help enhance your life. And that's just for me, I know for you, Maren, and for many of us, that is one of the most beautiful things that we have within our awareness, is to know that we are so much more than our physical body. And there is so much for us to experience and enjoy and enhance this life. And that is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
And that's our show. It was short and sweet.
I know. I'm so sorry, guys.
but but we
Uh,
made it on. We made it on, and we're happy to be here.
well,
And I hope you guys noticed the changeover, that it's Mentorship
yeah.
Mondays with Michelle and Maren. We're all set. And it was a really awesome week. Last week we had Jen and Teddy. So if you guys haven't checked that out, check out Jen and Teddy. And we've got more people coming up. But I'm sure we'll get to our topic in the next show.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just so glad that we were able to record. I was
Me
getting a
too.
little worried that it
Me
was going to be
too.
in the you all today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad at least it's a video message to say we're
Yes.
here.
Yes, we're here. We are
Yeah.
here. It maybe didn't come out the way we had intended, but it's still good. And I feel it
Yeah.
will be exactly um what we need, what somebody needs, just the
Yeah.
showing up. And that's the best part. Are you showing up? Are you
Yep.
showing up for yourself? So we're showing up for you, and we love you. And we hope you guys
Yeah.
have a wonderful week. And of course,
Yes.
we'll see you next week.
See you next week, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.